What is going on, my peoples?
What's up with it, my bows?
Hebos. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Millennial Man Podcast. Your host, Derek Chard, here, always with my co-host, Bryson Womack. And today, we don't have a guest today, but moving into the topic that we're gonna talk about, I guess our guest could be a father figure in a movie called The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. And that father figure said to Ricky Bobby, "Son, if you ain't first, you're last." What a saying from I love that movie.
I guess were our parents high when they said that?
Shit, Ricky. I was high when I said that. You can be first, second, third. Shit, you can even be fourth. Yeah, so were our parents high when they told us some of the things they said? Or what do you think, Bryson? What do you think?
Well, I mean, our parents were definitely freestyling parenting, right? Yeah. But with elite confidence, just absolute elite confidence. Now, they didn't have Google, they didn't have the internet, which I guess made it all funnier. But they just had sayings that were passed down or spread, and there's definitely a few just whirling around in my head.
Well, I mean, you mentioned they didn't have Google or any of that stuff. Did that make it easier because of I think probably the most common saying by a parent, which was, "Because I told you so." Because we couldn't look it up. There was no reference. They're just like, "Because I told you so." That's why you have
because I said so.
Because I said so. Yeah. What do you think? What are the ones rattling around in your brain right now?
I think the ones that are great are the myths.
Oh, I love the myths.
Which obviously there were most were the myths, but driving down the road. Turn off the light. It was either turn off the light, I can't see, I'm gonna wreck, or turn off the light, it's illegal, we're gonna get pulled over, you're arrested. Which, wait, why did we put the light in there?
Love that one. I think that agreed. My parents said that all the time.
I can't see shit out of this thing.
I think the C shit thing obviously stopped when we were 16. We were driving on around. We're like, wait, I can see, no problem. But the one that stuck with me the longest was, it's illegal. Like, I'm pretty sure I've been like 27 years old and someone turned the light on. I'm like, hey, dude, turn that off. I don't want to get pulled over. And they're like,
oh, there's definitely an unconscious fear that still sticks with me. And what I mean by that is, every time I go to turn that light on, like I'm just trying to, oh shoot, I need to get like some quarters out of this cup holder to pay for, or like whatever it may be that I'm just trying to quickly pick up.
Right.
I always
turn it right back off.
Or I check the rear views. I have cars behind me. Is that like a car? This and that, or like, and I do it. And then if I'm leaving it on a little longer than I expected, meaning I can't locate or find what I'm looking for. All right, check it again. Make sure no one's pulling, and it's like, wait, why?
Maybe our parents had some like foresight, because it's not illegal to have the light on. But now, 30 plus years later, it's illegal to do a lot of stuff while you're driving. So if that light's on, you actually might get pulled over because they're like, well, that person's doing something, texting on their phone, I don't know, like was there some because the light itself is not illegal. But I agree. I do the same thing. I'm like, look, all right, turn it right back off.
Yeah, there's those old videos you see where they first started, like, it was, you had to wear the seatbelt, or then when the first time they made it illegal to drink and drive, like, you could just drink it over, like, kids riding around without a car seat, and they're like, I thought it was free country, I thought we do whatever we want, like, but the one thing was turning the light on. It's just wild.
Yeah, that is wild, because when I was growing up, having a seatbelt actually wasn't mandatory. I mean, that kind of makes sense, I think, in most circumstances. But yeah, a light on in the car. What else? Did our I remember my parents saying, if you make that face long enough, it'll stay that
Or yeah, it was like, better turn that frown upside down or you're gonna get stuck or something. Yeah, it was like, you're gonna get stuck that way, or don't cross your eyes, they'll get stuck that way, or yeah.
Yeah, like that was a big one. Like it's gonna get stuck that way. And then immediately as a kid, I was like, wait, what? If I'm stuck like that, I don't want that. I think everything they said, it was just a tactic to get us to do what they wanted. But it was just a tactic to get us to do what they wanted.
What about the ones of, what was it? If you swallow gum, it'll be in your stomach for 7 years, or if you swallow watermelon seed, a watermelon is going to grow in your stomach. And it's like, funny, like, what is that piece of gum doing a prison sentence down there, lifting weights? Like, like bust out one day, like, what's happening? Like, not 3 years, not 4 7-year stint.
That is wild. Yeah. It's funny. You're from the South. You're from Georgia. I'm from Connecticut. And we both got told 7 years. So where did the 7 years come from? Like, what if it's 8? What if it's 4? But it was 7 years. Don't swallow gum. It'll be in there for 7 years.
I will say, I mean, the seed, we obviously myth busted that one, but the bubble gum, I don't know. I might have a few just lingering down there. I mean, I really don't know. I doubt it, but I really don't know. But some of the ones that we really busted, like the don't sit too close to the TV or you'll go blind. And it's like, oh, here I am using a cell phone 6 inches away from my face, or a computer screen 12 hours a day. And
or that same parent doesn't have their readers and they're putting their phone this close to their eyes. Yeah. It's like, hey, mom, don't do that. You'll go blind. One that is, I mean, not
blind, but maybe mentally unstable. These days.
Back then you'd go blind. Now you are seeing a therapist because but I think one of the ones that I think about, did you ever get told, hey, you have to stand at least like 3 feet away from the microwave or else, or I don't know, they were just like, get back from the microwave, which it might be, was kind of good advice. Like, nowadays with,
you think about the mechanism of how it cooks, like, that's some scary technology to them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That probably scared the shit out of them back in the day. They're like, wait, what? 20 seconds?
But yeah, then they turn around and threaten you with, I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. Well, which one is it, Mom? You want to protect me or take me out?
Whichever one helped them in the parenting moment. You don't have, well, I don't have kids. You have raised a child. And I always think about, like, how many of these things am I going to use? And how many am I not going to use?
Well, I will say one they've got right. Oh, the internet, it's not safe. And, they got that one right. They were ahead of their time on that one. They were ahead of their time on that one.
Yeah. Yep. The one I'll always remember, and I think I will definitely use, is there was one time, I got a little bit snippy with my dad or my parents, and the grass is greener, and I didn't like what they were telling me to do. And I remember my dad was like, "Hey son, do you know what the golden rule is?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like first grade. They put it up. They're like, "Treat others like you would like to be treated." And I was so excited, like I knew the answer. And he goes, "Nope. He who makes the gold makes the rules." And I was like, "Well, shit." That was a saying my dad said to me that will last with me forever, and I'll probably use again, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure there was always that follow-up thread or something where because I said so, or who makes the gold makes the rules. You gotta, well, when I'm, 6, I'm gonna move out. And it's like we thought that was a threat. It was like, cool, go ahead, kick rocks, kid.
Well, that is what I said. I was like, all right, yeah, as soon as I'm 18 years old, I'm gonna go get a job. All right, I'm gonna tell a quick story, because I knew I was going to college, but like when that got said enough, like me and one of my buddies, we literally went and looked at renting a house when we were like 17, almost 18. We were getting ready and we're like, dude, let's just get jobs. That's enough to pay the lease on this house. And let's just go crazy. My parents let me do it too. Like knowing that I was going to go to college, they were sending me to college, but like, because I was given those threats, like, hey, I don't need you. When I'm going to go get a job, I'll go live on my own, do what I want. And they're like, all right, go ahead. Yeah, we didn't get that house. I went to college and, whatever. But you're right. They were just like, yeah, sure. We would love for you to figure it out. We would love for you to do that.
Go back to like before, I don't like growing up, so I like going back to the childhood.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
The wait 30 minutes after eating. And I remember more about being, because you're going to drown, but I guess you're going to cramp and drown. It's like, to think about the fact like, oh, dude, you just ate a hot dog. Your body's shutting. It's over. Your life's over. You're done. Like, wild. It's like, oh, but as soon as you finish your dinner, it's like, go take a shower or go get a bath.
Yeah.
But I can't jump in a pool.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. And I may want to ask Jeeves about this. Like, is there any science? Because yeah, that was wild. Like we had a pool growing up in our backyard. We'd have people over, and then it was like, all right, kids, like come eat something. We'd eat, and my mother would announce it like she was calling the Red Sox Yankees game. Like, all right, everybody, like no swimming for 30 minutes because you got to let your food die. Like no kids in the pool, and it was serious. So like, is there any science? Do we add, or was it just, hey, we know the kids aren't in the pool, we can just relax for a little bit?
Yeah, Adult Swim.
Adult Swim, great channel.
Maybe something to also ask you on that one. Let's dive into this. Does
I'll
jumping in a pool create cramps? But you just mentioned, watching Red Sox game or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You played sports. Did you ever have a coach that talked about like, hey, no swimming before ball games? And I don't remember what it was, but I specifically had a baseball coach who was like, hey, no, y'all don't be swimming before the game on Saturday. Like, it was something about, I don't know if it was like it dehydrates you or it was, I'm gonna take that one. You take the cramp. I am curious on this one.
I think that was a little bit of dehydration. I don't know if like the chlorine, like if it was a pool, dehydrated you, but yeah, I'm gonna go and look up does swimming after eating give you cramps? All right, here we go. Let's see what it says. Well, that was easy. Jeeves was quick. No. generally do not get dangerous cramps from swimming after eating. The idea that you must wait 30 to 60 minutes is a myth. There is no scientific evidence linking swimming after eating to drowning or serious health risks. There was no, it was deliberate. Nope, it's a myth. Done. What do you got? What do you got with the swimming before playing a game? You probably just want you to have fun. Like, yeah, don't go to the pool with your buddies. We got a game. You got to be serious. And you're like 12 years old and you're like, yes, coach.
Swimming before a game can be very beneficial. As low impact, it's a full body workout, improves cardiovascular, muscle strength, flexibility, and it's not, creating too much strenuous, I guess, exertion on muscles, ligaments, things like that. So it's just really just loosening you up.
All right. So what I'm hearing from this is we were being held back. We both, we could have been pro athletes if our parents and coaches weren't holding us back. Like they were holding us back this whole time,
I mean,
falsehoods
all around it. Oh yeah, I mean, actually, there's more stuff here. Was like especially for baseball games, which that was a baseball coach. So basically, our childhood was just built around myths and lies and fear tactics. But somehow we did survive.
Yeah. You know what? I just remembered. This one could be correct. So I'm gonna put you on Jeeves. Coffee stunts your growth. I would see my dad and my grandpa. They're drinking 10 cups of coffee a day, and I'm like, oh, I want some of that. And you're like, no. Coffee will stunt your growth. You want to grow big and tall? Don't drink coffee. Can't do it. My first cup of coffee, because of that saying, I don't think came till a long way through college. Because I was like, all right, well, no, I want to be tall. I can't drink coffee. I was told it'll make me short. What do we got on that?
Apparently, it is a common belief, but there is no valid evidence to suggest that it does. It's not a person's growth, and actually, in fact, it says research is, it's possible that there's a connection to cancer and infertility and heart disease. So, go figure. Well, now we just brought all that up.
Yeah.
It was also, I mean, hell, I guess we had some that we created ourselves. What was the yellow 5? You're gonna have a small penis if you drink like Surge or Mountain Dew because it had yellow 5 in it. It was like just a random ingredient, but it was like that was the thing. Like yellow 5, oh, you're gonna have a small penis. Like I remember that one.
I very vaguely remember that one. But
well, I drink a lot of Mountain Dew, so I can go ahead and tell you.
Well,
it might be true.
I remember that people were saying like Mountain Dew, like I thought they said it actually. Oh, maybe it was decrease your sperm count. I thought it was
maybe a sperm count, not small. Okay.
I remember people saying something about Mountain Dew and sperm count. They're like, "Oh man, Mountain Dew reduces your sperm count." It's like,
maybe we heard that and we weren't smart enough to understand, so we just went little penis.
But we're also like 12, 13 years old. Like, oh, reduce your sperm. Oh, can't do that.
Which everyone's running around with like little puppies anyways.
Yeah, right. Like, who cared at that time? Yeah, dude. Insane. So I want to go because I want to go this way to like we've disproven some things.
A lot of trauma.
There definitely is a lot of trauma. But then also to just other sayings that may have been good, but lead to some funny stories that we told. And I told you before this episode, I'm like, I'm telling this story. And I hope to God my mother listens to this. So my father used to say, if a man is working You don't sit idly by and watch him work. You help. Right? Like that was just like a thing. And my mother grew up in the same era, and she was, whatever. So there, and this is the story I wanted to tell because I think it's the most hilarious thing ever. That we were in a grocery store, and our grocery stores, a lot of times, probably where the listeners are, you had, some special needs people kind of bagging your groceries. And my mom, she can't sit idly by. She has to help. And this gentleman was bagging her groceries. Oh. And she's just, after she pays, she's just like, all right, I'll just help out. There's a couple items. And I remember sitting there as a kid, and she started doing that. And all of a sudden, this kid goes, and I'm not going to yell because this mic will blow out, but he yelled across the whole grocery store, "Ma'am, I can do it myself. This is my job, please." And when I say yell, everybody in that grocery store stopped and stared at us. My mom stopped, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And he kept going. And I will remember that forever. So anyway, I had to tell that story. It was the funniest thing ever, but it came from probably an upbringing of the boomer generation that was like, if you're an able-bodied person, you help. Is there anything that you were instilled with as a young kid that actually was good, or that was like, okay, that was a good piece of information that maybe it didn't backfire like it did for my mother?
I was gonna say, I was just thinking about that meme where the guy's like sitting there and the veins just like popping out the side of his head. Smell, if you just go ahead and pop that meme, it's right there on the screen, just vein popping out. I can just see that kid just losing his mind.
Dude, he lost his shit. It was so funny and embarrassing. My mom was embarrassed, but it was so funny. Lost his shit.
I think one that was valuable for me that was, and I guess is on topic, off topic, whatever you call it, but every time my parents like said something or asked us of something or just called our name, there always had to be the response of yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. And it was like, huh, or oh yeah, I got it, oh yeah, I always. And I guess even today, exercising that practice when I'm around people, it's just like, oh yes ma'am. I play golf the other day, and I'm probably a 50-year-old woman, and I'm 36 and sweet lady, and I was like, hey Miss Nikki, yes ma'am, I got all day. And it's just I don't know, it feels right.
No, I agree. I think part of that comes from I was thinking two things when you're saying that, like respect your elders, just like that feel, which is a concept. But then I think our parents did that for us to like communicate, like say,
they had just a lot of words that we didn't. It's like Kirby Smart telling the Georgia football players, tuck in your shirts. But it's just like, hey, you do the little things right, everything in the bigger picture is easier to accomplish. So It's like even all these little things that they told us to do is like sometimes it was just understanding discipline, maybe.
Yeah, like an adult asking you, are you doing good in school? Yeah. Your mom would be like, it's at least yes.
Oh no,
if not, I know I said at least, at the bare minimum, yes, probably followed up with a response. Now, I'm from up north. We didn't say ma'am and sir and all that stuff, but it was, hey. You don't just say yeah. You say, yes, school's great, thank you so much. You had to communicate. And I think that's good, because like nowadays I see people are like, oh, sorry, he doesn't talk, and it's like,
which I am.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of it, I'm still waiting to see my permanent record that they always talked about in school or in trouble. Was like, oh, that's going to go on your permanent record. And it was like, where's this fucking record of all this shit I did? Like, I want to see it. And well, I guess now I realize that sitting in jail is kind of like that. But
well, yeah, you're going to screw up the rest of your life. Which, I mean, there was a certain point that could happen probably after 18. But I was told that so much younger than that. And yes, doing dumb shit, you could screw up but looking back, that was the time to do it. I mean, when you were young, before 18 years old, if you wanted to do some dumb shit, do it then, because yes, after when you get older, that's when it is going to screw up the rest of your life, but I got that all the time. Like, you're going to screw up your whole life. But I was 12 and I, hit a mailbox with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Which was stupid.
Well,
but guess what? The cop was like, son, you're an idiot. Stop. And parents reprimand him, and that's it.
Start crying and then say something like, you better stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Better stop crying or I'll give you something.
Usually that was, there was always the going to stores. That's where I got in all the trouble. When we go in the store, you don't touch anything. And then when you're running around, just wait till your dad hears out about this. And that was always the thing. I was like, oh, fuck. And then like, she never told him. But then when you did cry, that was when they followed up with, I'll give you something to cry about. It's just like, man.
Or wait till we get home.
Do I make myself clear?
I got that one. Yeah. Out with my mom. Because she was a big appearance, person, which I get, like, hey, when we're out, you're acting up. I'm just going to grab you. But like, I'm not going to make a scene. She didn't want to make a scene, but she'd grab you real hard where no one could see. And she'd be like, you don't wait till we get home. And we were like, uh-oh. Because when you get home, no one's looking, and you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You're in trouble. That's a good one. What else? What other stuff did our parents tell us that is there anything else that comes to mind? Is it I just thought of one. I'll give you one, and we'll wrap it up after this. But I think me and you were both troublemakers back in the day. Well, we didn't keep our head in the books and just do nothing. If your friend jumped off a bridge, would you jump off too? You ever get that one?
Yeah, it's like
that. Like,
well, Johnny did it. It's like, oh, so Johnny like drums, and you're just gonna do it too. And it's like, well, I mean, I'm ride or die with me. But yeah, no.
That is hilarious. Your parents realize, like, damn, I got a loyal ass kid. He's like, Mom, Johnny's my ride or die. If he does, I am going with him. And she's like, shit, that backfired, right? But I got that one all the time. Well, if Hugh does it, you're going to do it too?
I actually remember one where I took my seatbelt off like one time in the back seat going like a game. I was like, put your seatbelt on. So, well, Mom, you're not wearing your seatbelt. And
oh my God, dude, you're still alive. Holy shit.
She goes, well, I'm an adult. I was like, well, Mom, if we got in a car crash and you die, I don't want to live without you. I want to die too. And it was just like, oh, that backfired. Yeah, I was like,
you said that?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know if those exact words.
You're wise beyond your years.
Don't do as I do as I say, kind of thing. I was like, well, Mom, if you're not wearing yours and you die, I want to die. And I was like, yeah, I was like, oh shit. So that seatbelt went on.
Dude, that was genius on your end, because you just brought up one of the best things that I'm going to end on is I got so often in my life, and I bet you there's other millennials out there that was do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Meaning like, listen, I get it. I'm not doing, but you're my kid. So you have to like, and the biggest one was driving. My mom was listen, she could have drove NASCAR, and she would teach us to drive, or like growing up, she's like, listen, I know, she's like, but just do.
But when you,
don't copy what I do, what I say, not as I do. And we're like, but Mom, and she's like, guess what? that actually never works. I'm just like my mother when I drive. So is my sister. So is everybody. So
Yeah, it's like the DARE program. I mean, it basically taught us how the drugs affect you, where to get them, and how much to do. It wasn't anything about not doing it. It was like, oh shit, you just gave me the handbook. Thanks. Appreciate it. So yeah, same kind of thing. I was like, you should just not do it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But no, that's great. I think I think we started on this one, but like the light in the car being illegal, and there were things that, you know, our parents said to us, and some of them were complete bullshit. And looking back now, it's hilarious. And there's sayings that they had, some also hilarious, but some, you know, what's funny, I might use them myself. So at the end of the day, it's a good topic. It was a good topic. So hopefully to our listeners, our millennial men, you enjoyed it. And hopefully you're thinking, the heck did my parents say to me? Hopefully you relate to some of the things that we said, and you enjoy this one. So Bryson, take us on. What do you got?
I guess you know, don't go outside with wet hair. You're gonna get sick. And don't forget about you, my boys.
Peace.